Welcome to No Longer Conformed. I'm Erik Garthe, and we are studying God's grace, Bible bits from 1 Peter. In this session, we'll be looking at 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 1 through 6, effective attitudes. Consider the aspects of relationships. Spiritually, all are equal. Galatians 3:28, there is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither slave nor free. There is neither male nor female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. As Christians, we exercise mutual submission. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 21, submitting to one another in the fear of God. And in marriage, partners function within structure. 1 Corinthians 11, verse 3, but I want you to know that the head of every man is Christ. The head of woman is man, and the head of Christ is God. Peter told wives to win over their husbands through submissive behavior. Wives can influence through submission. How? By demonstrating certain attitudes. You must understand two different types of power: the power of position and the power of influence. In a marriage, the husband has position power with responsibilities as leader, as protector, and as provider. In that same marriage, the wife has influence power by her counsel. The secret is that the power of influence is greater than the power of position. In our text for this session, the Apostle Paul revealed the keys to submission in 4 attitudes, which also apply to all authority situations. So it's for all of us, not just the husband and wife relationship. First, submissive behavior demonstrates a reverent spirit. 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 1 and 2 of our text. Wives, likewise, be submissive to your own husbands, that even if some do not obey the word, they, without a word, may be won by the conduct of their wives, when they observe your chaste conduct, accompanied by fear. Even if some do not obey the word, that means unbelievers. They may be won over by observation. 2 words in this passage are important to understand. Chaste. This is the Greek word hagnos, which means pure from every fault. There's no reason to receive blame. And the other word is fear. This word is phobos, which means reverent or respectful in view of respect for God. Remember, all authority is established by God. He will use his structure to work his plan. Esther respected King Ahasuerus. David respected King Saul. Paul respected the high priest. All those authorities were evil. The key is to separate the person from the position, which is God ordained. Jesus did. Hebrews chapter 5, verse 8. Though he was a son, yet he learned obedience by the things which he suffered. And then second, submissive behavior demonstrates a grateful spirit. Verses 3 through 5. Do not let your adornment be merely outward, arranging the hair, wearing gold, or putting on fine apparel. Rather, let it be the hidden person of the heart, with the incorruptible beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is very precious in the sight of God. For in this manner, in former times, the holy women who trusted in God also adorned themselves, being submissive to their own husbands. The incorruptible beauty. Internal beauty versus outward adornment. A lot of time in the mirror, arranging the hair, wearing gold, or putting on fine apparel. Nothing's changed. Just centuries have passed. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 18 to verse 24, 800 years before Jesus, and the writing of these words. In that day, the Lord will take away the finery, the jingling anklets, ankle bracelets, the scarves and the crescents, the pendants, the bracelets and the veils, the headdresses, the leg ornaments and the headbands, the perfume boxes, the charms and the rings, the nose jewels, like today, the festal apparel and the mantles, the outer garments, the purses and the mirrors, the fine linen, the turbans and the robes. And so it shall be, instead of a sweet smell, there will be a stench. Instead of a sash, a rope. Instead of well-set hair, baldness. Instead of a rich robe, a girding of sackcloth, and branding instead of beauty. Rather, the hidden person of the heart. Gentle translates the Greek word praos. The same word is translated meek in the Beatitudes of Matthew 5. Internal qualities are more powerful than the external appearance. Meek, content before God. Psalm 62 in verse 5, my soul waits silently for God alone, for my expectation is from him. The key is giving your expectations to God and not placing them on others. Third, submissive behavior demonstrates a servant spirit. Verses 5 and 6. For in this manner, in former times, the holy women who trusted in God also adorned themselves, being submissive to their own husbands, as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters you are, if you do good and are not afraid with any terror. Mark chapter 10, verses 43 and 44 read, yet it shall not be among you, but whoever desires to become great among you shall be your servant, and whoever of you desires to be first shall be slave of all. God's way to greatness is through service. Genesis 39, verses 1 through 6, we see it in the life of Joseph. Now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him from the Ishmaelites who had taken him down there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he was a successful man. And he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all he did to prosper in his hand. So Joseph found favor in his sight and served him. And then he made him overseer of his house, and all that he had he put under his authority. So it was from the time that he had made him overseer of his house and all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was on all that he had in the house and in the field. Thus he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he did not know what he had except for the bread which he ate. Now Joseph was handsome in form and appearance. Joseph made Potiphar very successful in the context of submission, slavery. In that context, he had protection and he had much freedom. The key to being excited about making others successful by serving them. That's the key. The key is to be excited about making others successful by serving them. And then fourth, submissive behavior demonstrates a quiet spirit. Look at verse 4 and verse 6. Rather, let it be the hidden person of the heart with the incorruptible beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is very precious in the sight of God. And in verse 6, as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters you are, if you do good and are not afraid with any terror. Peter suggested that a quiet spirit, doing the right thing without fear or worry, will have influence. And Sarah is used of an illustration of a quiet spirit. Submissive. The Greek word is hupotasso. It's a military term meaning to rank under, and quiet, hesukias, which means to cause no disturbance. The qualities of gentle and quiet are precious to God. Pilate's wife warned him without judging Jesus. She warned him about judging Jesus. She didn't nag. Matthew 27, verse 19. While he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent to him, saying, "Have nothing to do with that just man, for I have suffered many things today in a dream because of him." The key is to define responsibilities and see the ultimate value in failure. It's destructive for a wife to take matters into her own hands. It destroys your home. Proverbs 14:1. The wise woman builds her house, but the foolish pulls it down with her hands. It forces children to hate. Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to the one and despise the other. And it hinders her husband's response to God while he's reacting to you. And it causes him to surrender responsibilities. Do it God's way. Honor the authorities he has placed over you in your life. Or it's worship of self, other gods before God. You think about all these things in God's grace, and you have a great day.